You can't really understand the present situation unless you know what went before the present management.
So the initial article that Julie Wiener from the Jewish Week wrote described the situation in the cemetery, and it was a rather brutal article, but it was more or less the truth in that the condition of many of the plots in the cemetery was certainly nothing I would care to see as the condition of a plot of anyone I cared for or loved, and by extension, you wouldn't want anyone to have that, to feel that way.
We drove around here and I thought, oh, you've got to be, this is so enormous. It's not an informidable, it's not an accomplishable task, but I thought, this is not going to be a 4-day process. This is going to take some time, this is going to take some logistics, some layout, some expertise to actually come in here and do this work. And there were no expectations when I came down here. I'm glad that I was able to, I didn't do anything. Just the working of savings and doing without. I've gone without, I don't know how many meals I've gone without. I slept for, I don't know how many, we're not going to get into that, we're not going to go there. But it's just been because of my love and my concern, and maybe just maybe I can do something that might make a difference someplace, that might encourage somebody else to take an interest in really, if it's not their direct family, they would have the compassion, the understanding, the love that a normal human being should have when it comes to the respect and care for those who have gone before. We have to get the mausoleums opened up because we've got funeral directors here. They need to get in there and see the conditions of those, so the professionals are going to be doing their work. We need to open that up for them. Look at the condition of these headstones. I mean, somebody to come in and knock these over, this is a couple ton. Even to look at these, why these have been moved. I mean, it's ridiculous. A human being can't even move this.
We all came down here and we gathered at Laib's gravesite. They all were unaware of his existence, and it was sort of a party for all our cousins in a way.
You want to take me down to the grave?
Yeah, I'm going to go down. It was, that grave was totally inaccessible. Well, when I first discovered it, it was very difficult to get to. But when I came back here last year with my brother, we reached the site where his stone was, but it was totally covered with foliage. It was huge, thick foliage. We couldn't really see the stone, and so it was. I was feared then it was lost for all time. Now, Laib's grave is about maybe 35 yards in there. It's about 35 yards in there. You want to try to walk in there
again? It's up to you. I'm okay.
Well, I'll try it again. But try to get, I don't know how far we can get in there. I brought my, well, Shane apparently is going to be working on this. when I was here. That was just a few years ago. At that time, it was clearly totally really not maintained, but at least you could walk through all of the overgrown things, but you can get yourself through, and I was able to reach Labes without that much difficulty. And even when our cousins came back a few weeks, at that year, we were okay. But last year already, you still could get to the stone, but you couldn't. The stone was totally covered. Now you can't even get to the stone. That's how it's gone over even just a year. I think, from my understanding, there's a stone here. It has that yellow round dot you may notice. That indicates perpetual care. But I guess in terms of this cemetery, perpetual is something less than forever, isn't it? As far as care is concerned. Perpetual care.
Bayside is no exception. So when you say that no one cares, that's incorrect. There are many people who care, but they are limited by how much they can provide for this catastrophe, away from what they normally do to earn a living that even allows them to give it whatever time they're going to give it. The task at hand is literally more than the average person can bear who is engaged in some gainful employment. And while the spirit is willing, the flesh cannot be there. Cannot be there.
Every congregation has the responsibility to take care of the cemetery which is affiliated with that congregation. In many cases, congregations don't even have an entire cemetery, but a portion of a cemetery. And it is very much a responsibility of a synagogue to take care of a cemetery. It's an ongoing responsibility.
I said, could that stone on my father's grave be from the last?
Yes, it is.
This is the way it looked before. This is the way the cemetery looked before. Beautiful, clean, taken care of. If you read the story, you probably also know that I sued them, right?
I didn't know you sued them.
Yeah. For abrogation of contract.
And what happened?
I won the suit, and they haven't done anything different.
I mean, Shane is a workhorse, which is a good thing. He's a very good worker, and couldn't ask for a better worker, to be honest with you. Well, I mean, it's good to know somebody's coming back. I hate to think that was it. That was the big heave-ho, and now it's left up to drips and drabs of maybe we can get 4 hours here or 10 hours there. That's not going to do it. You need straight months of constant guys here constantly doing something to get it under control.
I don't know the complete story about it, but there was, the grandmother, great-grandmother of a very pronounced individual here in the local community, whose body was just desecrated, burned, tore up, pieces missing. And I won't go into the particulars of that. However, her wedding ring, I think you actually versed the situation. It was actually missing, or it was actually found out here. How does that make one feel? I know that I'd be having a few words to say about the management of the cemetery. Should that be my wife? Should that be my ancestor that's actually buried out here or interred out here? It's a good project. we're making a lot of headway. We've got a wood chipper out here that's going. Things are going to turn around here really quick. And just like to see the enthusiasm and the motivation that's behind this all now. Just been in touch with President Orsodio from the LDS community. We're looking at, or they're actually looking at organizing people to be out here on Wednesdays and Fridays, just to keep this project ongoing so that there is a presence out here more than once a week. And the LDS community is definitely involved in this project. There can be anti-Semitic comments or anti-defamation comments that are made about the LDS community taking part with this. Well, you know, I love it. As Leslie Francisco put it last night, where's the Jewish community knocking down the doors? You know, who's beating us back from coming in here?